Okay, here we are. This is a screenshot taken from Real Clear Politics, and they're polling data that they've been doing probably for about 10 years. It's really interesting as you see how these graphs become more and more refined over the years. I've been told that Real Clear Politics is a Steve Bannon website, so this is a perfect place to go when we look at data. And we're going to be looking at a lot of data, and it's going to kind of blow your mind. So if you look at this data, what we see here is, what we see here is a timeline that starts sometime in 2014, and it goes straight through the election. And as you will notice, the black lines are the favorability ratings. The red line indicates unfavorable. And so this is Hillary Clinton's data over the time that they were taking data on her. I do not know when she announced that she was going to run. I would assume sometime in 2014. Well, if you see, when they started taking data, her favorability rate was really high. It was in the mid 60 percentage points. And I'm just going to tell you, when you go back and look at like 2008, 2010, for a candidate just to go up or down 3 points maybe in favorability is a really huge deal, because their favorability is pretty homeostatic. It's within a certain range during the entire time. And look at the spread for favorability. It goes like from the mid 60s to a low of like mid 30s, 30-point swings. That is so unnatural, out of the norm compared to prior campaigns, whether they were Republican or Democrat, as recorded at Real Clear Politics. And so you'll notice the red line all the way to the left, how everything is like 30 points apart, the red and the black. Black is likability, red is unfavorability. Well, they start to get closer and closer and closer during the year 2014. Okay, so what do we know about 2014? Well, according to the Mueller report, that is when Russians came to the United States to kind of check out what was going on here, do their own research, go to various places and start to implant amongst Americans to survey the U.S., the landscape, the political landscape, and who their contacts were going to be and what they were going to do. And so notice that year 2014, Hillary had very high favorability. And during that time, they were testing of what was likable or unlikable about her. You can kind of see how things go up and down at the same rate, whether it's black or red. And then you'll notice in 2015, there's a blue circle where all of a sudden, her favor dives and the red increases. That's a pivotal date. That is Michael Schmidt when he published the New York Times editorial or article about her emails, because he got a tip about her emails. Well, that ended up being Jason Chaffetz, and then they coordinated that, and then that's when I think the email debate, or maybe when the hearing started for her. You will notice a blue dot, 1, 2, 3, 4 blue dots. Those 4 blue dots are critical dots. They are certain dates of certain events. There's the first dot. I want you to look at the second dot. That is the date. If you look at that second date, you see that the red systematically augments, the black systematically decreases, and they augment and decrease. They diverge at the same rate over the same amount of time, very subtly. Well, that second blue dot, that was the date that Josh Aretsky and 3 other Bernie staffers searched, downloaded, and extorted Hillary Clinton's proprietary voter data. And this pattern fits the same pattern of how they use information warfare and use polling to make adjustments on what is released out on social media, and then how media picks up these stories. And then they poll day by day, and they can measure whether or not their attacks are working. I know, let this one sink in. Okay, I think I need to go inside. I'm trying to enjoy the nice weather, but too many weird noises. March 23rd, 2015 was such a pivotal date because that is when that article came out. No, it came out at the beginning of March, but Michael Schmidt did not start tweeting about Hillary Clinton until March 23rd, 2015. And by then, so much damage had been done in that first part of March. And you can see just what a devastating toll that was. And that's why Hillary never recovered from the email story. It just went on and on and on and on. So that was the first devastating blow, was the email story. And I 100% believe it was coordinated with Jason Chaffetz. I just saw that he met with the Saudis, I think, in 2015. I saw some tweets about the Oversight Committee questioning encryption warnings by the FBI. And when you go back in retrospect, you can see how actively Jason Chaffetz was taking Russian active measures and implementing them. And I always heard that he was forced to leave because of some sort of scandal. I thought it was back in Utah, but I would not be surprised if Jason Chaffetz is in this WikiLeaks versus USA or one of these cases that were sent off by Mueller. Also, in Jason's email account or Twitter account, he's erased all of his his tweets that he had about Hillary Clinton and her emails. All of them, but especially his tweets during that spring of 2015 are especially sparse. It's unbelievable. I'm so glad he's gone. Okay, so I am going to stop right there because this is enough information. I don't mean for your heads to explode with this information, but this is what we're getting into. This is how ugly, when you start look at polling and events and what was behind it in current events, it was all happened right in front of us. Hillary was not a bad candidate. She was going against bad actors in the United States, in the UAE, and Russia, and namely, her opponent. Okay, thanks you guys. I hope you liked this one. It was juicy.